Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atira binti Zulkifli. My metric number is S54374. My supervisor name is Dr. Marsila Muhammad Ruslan. I will present about my final year project. The research title is The Development of the Fisheries Industry and its Impact on the Community in Kuala Besut, Terengganu. For introduction part, fisheries are the primary supporters to the individual's protein supply. This encourages the fisheries sector to play an important role in improving the country's economy. This research expects to discover the development of fishing activities and its importance to the community in Kuala Besut. The purpose of this study is first to study the development of fishing activities in Kuala Besut. Second, to study the contribution of infrastructure development in the fisheries sector to the community. And third, to identify the problems faced in developing the fisheries sector in Kuala Besut. This study centers on the importance of fishery production and the effect of the development of the fisheries sector on the socio-economic development of the population around this area. The main obstacle that can be seen to develop the fisheries sector is the lack of capital. Therefore, the availability of subsidies or loans from the government allows the fisheries sector to be developed. In my research study, I have chosen three objectives, which is first, to study the development of fishing activities in Kuala Besut. Second, to study the contribution of infrastructure development in the fisheries sector to the community. And third, to identify the problems faced in developing the fisheries sector in Kuala Besut. For the literature review part, the fisheries sector has played an important role as a major supplier of animal protein to the Malaysian population. In fisheries, development can be defined as a process of change through the continuous and equitable improvement of the quality of life for all or most members of society. Over the past decade, the development of basic fishery products in Terengganu using small business in innovation and product development trends, the ability to seize market opportunities and affordable way to change business strategy, as well as in the study of social entrepreneurship. The state of Terengganu is used as a state blessed with various basic fishery products. The state government has been working hard to build up a small Malay fishing industry in terms of product innovation, new change in the fisheries business, and the willingness to transform conventional production into new technologies. According to Albert, the social concept is an important tool to help entrepreneurs become highly motivated towards the entrepreneurship as a social change in growing their small business. For research methodology, the research method used was quantitative. To find methods that require objective and controlled phenomena through data collection and analysis. The use of statistical tests in a study is an attempt to explain or find relationship between variables in a study. In this study, it is to provide information and explanation on the impact of change in the fisheries sector on the population in Kuala Besut. In this study, the required data are divided into two groups, namely primary data and secondary data. The researcher obtained the primary data by submitting a questionnaire to the respondent in the study area to obtain more information about the study. As for secondary data, it is obtained from report issued by relevant government agencies such as Lembaga Kemajuan Ikan Malaysia and other agencies involved. The data required in this study such as development data in Kuala Besut fishery statistic data and other data that are relevant to the study that will be conducted in this area. For sampling method, sampling is the procedure of selecting a sample of or respondent from a group of students, the general public and government agency in a place. The purpose of the sampling performed is important in the research to ensure that the conclusions obtained from the sample are accurate. In this study, researchers have used a simple random probability sampling method that assumes that every person involved in fishing activities have the opportunity to be selected as a sample to conduct research. The randomly selected questionnaire sample consists of fishermen in Kuala Besut as well as residents around the area. For data analysis, quantitative data should be collected for testing using descriptive and inferential statistics to look at relationship between variables. The data and information obtained will be detailed by providing description using table and graph to facilitate the display of study findings. The descriptive statistical method used in the data analysis was in the form of a Likert scale. In the aspect of data analysis, manual calculation will be used. Therefore, only frequencies and percentage will be used as data for analysis. The collected data will be converted into bar graph form. The demographic of the respondent will be shown in the form of a pie chart. For the result and discussion, for objective 1, which is to study the development of fishing activities in Kuala Besut, there are 4 statements given to the respondent. The first statement is physical development such as support facilities in Kampung Kuala Besut have improved. Second, transportation and ICT development meets the need in Kuala Besut. Third, retail activities increase with the advent of the fisheries and tourist sector. Fourth, the community is assisted in terms of its infrastructure facilities by the authorities. Overall, for objective 1, majority respondents agree with all the statement except for the statement number 2, which is majority respondent choose neutral for transportation and ICT development meets the need in Kuala Besut. For result and discussion for objective 2, which is to study the contribution of infrastructure development in the fisheries sector to the community, there are 7 statements given to the respondent. Number 1, the fishing activities carried out have led to a better standard of living. Number 2, employment opportunities result from fishing activities. Number 3, the development of fishing activities lead to an increase in additional income. Number 4, income generated by the community through fishing activities can help their socio-economic status. Number 5, the number of tourist visits increase. Number 6, visitors can get fresh fishery product. And number 7, Kuala Besut is famous as a port center for fisheries and tourist activities. Overall, for objective 2, majority respondent agree with all 7 statements given. Result and discussion for objective 3, which is to identify the problem faced in developing the fisheries sector in Kuala Besut. There are 6 statements given to the respondent. Number 1, the problem is lack of capital among fishermen who are still plagued by poverty. Number 2, lack of knowledge in handling sophisticated equipment and still using traditional method. Number 3, lack of labor force due to migration of young workers to the manufacturing sector. 4, ensuring the safety of fishermen from foreign and local threats. 5, weather problems and the threat of monsoon season. And number 6, problems of international cooperation such as encroachment on territorial waters and security threats. Majority respondent agree with all these statements, except for the statement number 5, which is weather problems and the threat of monsoon season. Majority respondent choose totally agree for the statement. For the conclusion, from this study, it can be concluded that the fishing industry plays a major role in the socio-economic development of the community in Kuala Besut. Development in the fisheries sector have contributed to the continuous development of infrastructure for the town of Kuala Besut and also to the community. Although there are problems faced in developing the fisheries sector, but it is still handled well by the authorities and residents in the area.